Hello Vue Native community, welcome back to my videos. My name is Simon Peter, and today we're going to create our own data. Wow. Now the data we're going to create is going to help us mimic what we could have from the server. We're going to be using that data to go through the different screens. We'll learn how to carry props, okay? Now in the previous one, you saw how we composed the components, and we could use one component to drive different variables and methods. All right, so we're going to see one, we're going to create our own data. Second, we're going to see how do I carry, for example, this count to come here. Let's say I have a cat, that the moment I click, also the cat here responds, and maybe I have a remember all these are in different components, and you're trying to propose them to a screen, or you've gone to a screen but that screen is in another stack, but you want whatever is added in that screen updates here or updates up in the notification bar, and that's what we're going to do. All right, so how do we create our own data in Vue Native or even Vue.js? So the first thing you do, you're going to go here. Okay, remember we have our app folder. So I want everything to move with the app folder. Even if I start creating another version, okay, maybe I just need to import the new modules, but the data will remain the same. Okay, for example, everything goes through the entry point, which is app.vue and package.json. Okay, all right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go in there and then we create, let me minimize the modules, and then we create a folder. Okay, the folder shouldn't be in modules, it should be under app. Okay, so we create a folder and we're going to call that folder data. Okay, all right, let me press enter. So here is my folder data. So that folder is going to contain our different data, and inside that folder of data I'm going to create a new file, and this file is going to be anything that I want to show, maybe categories.json. okay, now if you're in React Native, it can be categories.js. okay, I haven't looked so much into the JS thing, but I'll look into it and I see how we can use it in Vue. So let's start with categories.json. So it's going to be categories or categ data dot JSON. Then I press enter. You can see it has changed the symbol. All right, so we very well know that a JSON object looks like this. Okay, so which means we already have a JSON object that is going to contain JSON data. All right, so the data that we're going to have, maybe I can call it categs still, just a short for categories. So categories, there's no problem. It's good to have an easy understanding. So we can, which means we can have categories and then we have another data here, maybe something else. Now this must be a string. Okay, so to JSON this must be a string. Now I can even have another item here which can be let's say I want all of them to be in the same JSON file. I can have another item here which can be something else. I don't know what maybe menus, I don't know what to call it, but it's just an example. Okay, and I call it whatever I want. Now the reason it's bringing that error is because I need to add a comma onto this. All right, so inside this array here is where we're going to put our products. Okay, and we're going to create them as objects. So this is an object array. So inside there we can have an ID, okay, which ID will equal to a number, okay, 1. So the property of that ID is 1. Okay, so I'm going to have them go down. Now the other should be the name of the category. Okay, I don't know, whatever we're going to call it, name or category for simplicity, category. All right, So it's causing the error because it needs a comma up there. But the moment I added a comma here, before I even put this, okay, you saw that the comma was causing an error. The reason is the ending property cannot have, or the ending item in the array cannot have a comma. But the moment I add, the comma disappears, the error in the comma. So this is going to be now the category name. For example, I'm going to say, since this is baby me, prenatal, okay, for prenatal mothers, and that's all. So let me copy this kind of array. Okay, let me brief it so that I do not create a lot of space, but you may have a lot. So let me copy it twice, maybe prenatal, antenatal, and then whatever. So I need to add commas at the end of the array, okay? Yes, so this is prenatal, this is antenatal, and then the other is postnatal. Postnatal. All right, my array is done. Let me just remove this, but okay, let me add something into this. Menus maybe can be, okay, menu 1, menu 2, menu 3. Now let me add just basic menus that I can put on at the bottom tab. I'm going to call one home, and then I call one maybe cut, and the other can be maybe settings. So we're beginning with words. We can add icons later. I think let me add also an image string in here for each of these. Because I want each category to have an image, there's no problem. So I'll add one called img. Of course, I need to add a comma here. So I'll add one called img. Okay, and then it will be equal to something, which will be a string. I haven't found the images yet, but we're going to do them. We're going to add them just within the next video. All right, so what do we need to do? We need to find, okay, this is menu, and menu, and menu. No problem. So what do we need to do? We need to find a way of reading whatever is here to this other side. Okay, so I'm going to go to my categories. All right, so I'm not going to clear the image. Let's concentrate on how to get the data. So the first thing we need to do, we need to import this JSON. Okay, so I'm going to go in the script section. In the script section, I'm going to go to import. Okay, and what am I importing? So I give the variable of the JSON. It's like I'm creating a class for it. Okay, an object for the class. Okay, so I give it a variable which I can call cats maybe, or categs, short for categories, from, okay, where are we getting it from? And then one, I'm in the components folder. No, sorry, I'm in the data folder. So I must go out of the data folder by pressing 2 dots, okay, then I stroke. And you see it has already detected that I've gone out of the data, and then now of the comps folder, because that's where categories view is. And then I scroll down, I choose data, and then I stroke, and then what am I supposed to get from data? I'm supposed to get categ data. All right, so which means I can minimize this so that we have enough space. All right, so what do I need to do? I'm going to use the same method that we've been using for the counting. Okay, all right, so instead of counting, I want this .c to equate to okay, to a certain variable. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a variable here. Maybe I call it B, okay, so which will equal to now categs, whatever we imported up there in our object. And then I terminate. Now, instead of this .c, because when I click it's counting, I'm going to call variable B. Okay. Now, I'm also going to console log variable B so that we can see whatever we have in the whole screen. So console log is console.log is one way we can be able to check if we are really getting whatever we want, because sometimes you can get, but then exposing it on the screen is an issue. All right, so let's save. You can get the data, but when it's not showing on the screen, which means the thing is not coming, the problem is not from your method. All right, so if I press, all right, you can see that we have now our variable prenatal plus the image. And then when I go to my console here, okay, I need to go to, I've not got items in my console. I've not got anything in my console. Okay, I don't know why I expected something in my console here, but it's okay. So we can see, so I'll have to double check why I'm not getting anything in my console, but you can see that we have our data here. Okay, now let me first do the scroll view for the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back to our item here and I put everything in the scroll view so that we can see our data that is scrolling down. I can also remove the image, no problem. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give the image 10%, and this I give it 40. Okay, so when I click on the image, you can see our data is pouring down. I'm going to create a scroll view around our scroll view. Supposed to be capital S. Around our text so that we can scroll. Okay, I will talk about it later. It's scroll view. All right, so there needed to be a gap there. So you can say I can now scroll through our data. So you can see we have the menu, we have the categories. Now let's say you want to be specific, okay, and then you get whatever is in here. Okay, so for example, we can do c.categories and then we save. All right, when we click, we are only getting what is in categories. See that? Or we can do c.menu. I don't know if that's what I called it. All right, is it menu or menus? Let me double check. Menus, c.menus. All right, when I click, we are only getting what is in menus. And that's it. And that's how we can create our own JSON data. And in the next video, we're going to see how we loop through the data. Then after learning how we loop through the data, which means we can click on the data and we go to the next property that data is providing. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, donate, become a Patreon. Let's meet in the next video.